LeBron and D Wade had Bosh. Steph and KD had Clay. Dame and CJ have Melo. Okay, I'm just trolling with that last one, but who is the perfect, realistic third wheel to add to Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis? Now's probably not the perfect time to be making this video because the Mavs have started off so hot, but eventually they're gonna need to add someone to this mix so that KP and Luka can reach their ceiling. In this video, we're gonna talk about the realistic options for the Mavericks to upgrade this roster after such a fast start and exactly why that'll be so difficult. Plus, at the end, we're gonna wrap it up with a dream scenario to make an NBA dynasty in Big D. Hey, I'm Casey Kiernan, host of the AM Hoops YouTube channel. Please hit us with a subscribe. We're trying to grow the channel. We're putting out 3 quality NBA videos every single week. And if you love the league, check out the AM Hoops podcast. Monday through Friday, whenever you wake up, guaranteed, we go over every single NBA game. For years, it felt like the Mavs had no real direction to their franchise. It was kind of a long, drawn-out farewell tour to Dirk Nowitzki, even though he would never call it that or voluntarily go through that, which is cool. We all love Dirk. But everything changed 2 years ago on draft night. But don't think the Mavs got lucky. I mean, yeah, 2 teams did pass on Luka Doncic, Suns, Kings, but the Mavs paid Atlanta for the right to sign the future Rookie of the Year. Then, later, the Mavs go on to fleece the New York Knicks for Kristaps Porzingis, and here we are. This year, Dallas has the #1 offense in the NBA. Luka Doncic is playing like an MVP, being compared to LeBron James and Michael Jordan, but how long is this gonna last? I mean, outside of Luka, this roster is a picture of inconsistency. Kristaps has an excuse, obviously, with the injury and 20 months off. He's just coming back. But dude could drop 32 one night and then not crack 20 for 4 straight games after. Tim Hardaway Jr. and DeLon Wright are the only dudes who have gotten 20 plus. Seth Curry, Dwight Powell, Justin Jackson, Maxi Kleber, and Jalen Brunson have all scored at least 14 in a game. And my point is that you never know who's going to be able to help Luka Doncic consistently night to night. There's one more problem. Luka has worked so hard that Coach Rick Carlisle has limited his minutes, especially in the 4th quarter. In fact, the Mavs' offensive rating gets worse after halftime, and any Mavs fan who's watched a lot of games this year knows it's like a roller coaster, and here's what that looks like by the numbers. In the 1st quarter, the Mavs have the 21st ranked offensive rating in the league that jumps all the way to 1st in the 2nd quarter, dips down to 5th in the 3rd quarter, then all the way down to 25th in the 4th quarter. Again, a lot of this has to do with Luka's minutes. Carlisle wants Luka to be, standing upright and somewhat healthy by the time they do get to the playoffs. Something should be done if this team is going to reach its potential this season. And I know a ton of people are saying, why don't we just kick the can 3 years down the road and try to maximize our roster then? And to those people I say, you never know what can happen in the NBA year to year. I mean, this time last year, who would have believed that Kyrie and KD would be on the Nets? The Warriors would be the worst team in the league, or that Russell Westbrook would be on the Rockets. I mean, there's so much that changes in the NBA year to year that when the iron is hot and when it's time to strike and your team looks good now, there is no sense in waiting. So what do they need? Well, their needs include an elite 3-and-D wing, a backup point guard who can also play off the ball in crunch time when Luka clearly needs to handle the ball, and someone who is a rim protector, a center that would allow Porzingis to play the 4 exclusively, a rim protector, and also it'd be great if he could contribute on offense. So, let's make a trade, right? Well, there's a few problems with that. Number 1, the Mavericks don't have a 1st-round pick until 2025. They don't have many expiring contracts that other teams would like, and they don't even really have that many young assets that teams would like very much. But what do they have to work with? Well, they do have Courtney Lee's expiring contract. They've got still what's left over from the Harrison Barnes trade exception, and then they have some, kind of meh role players or potential starters that some teams could find valuable. So since they don't have a whole lot to offer, their target should probably be a player who's all-star caliber, but on a team that's going nowhere and on an expiring contract. So that team feels like, well, we can't get anything for this guy. He's gonna walk, so we might as well take whatever the Mavericks are offering. The Mavericks are probably, because they don't have any first-round draft picks, gonna have to give up someone or some pieces that they don't really want to give up, or they're not happy about giving up. But again, don't let the good be the enemy of the great, right? Because like I said, this team could be great, and you're gonna be good with a DeLon Wright or with a Dwight Powell. I know those guys are good, and Mavs fans do not want to see them go, or Jalen Brunson. But if you can get an all-star caliber player in return, I am telling you, it'll be worth it. All right, before we get to the trades, here's some trades that I did not consider. I don't think the Mavericks should give up anything of significance for a guy who isn't maybe going to be an all-star or has been an all-star in the past. And for Danilo Gallinari, there just was no realistic trade to be made that OKC would accept. So, realistic trades here. Number one, Bogdan Bogdanovic from the Sacramento Kings. Dallas gets Bogdanovic and Corey Joseph. Sacramento gets Justin Jackson, DeLon Wright, and Seth Curry. All right, so Dallas does this because Bogdanovic efficiently is shooting 43.8% from downtown on 6.8 attempts per game. Also, he can be a playmaker when Luka's off the floor. He averages 5.4 points, almost 3 rebounds, and almost 5 assists per game, and that is being behind De'Aaron Fox. Corey Joseph would be an option as well. Sacramento does this because they get back DeLon Wright and Seth Curry as depth behind De'Aaron Fox, and Justin Jackson perfectly fits into the timeline of the Kings' young core. Also, Sacramento would have his restricted free agent rights when he comes up. Trade number two, Goran Dragic from the Miami Heat. Now, obviously, this would take a little bit of convincing from the Heat because he has been important in their hot start as a potential sixth man of the year. So you're going to have to give up more than you want if you're Dallas, and that includes Jalen Brunson, Courtney Lee, and DeLon Wright. I know a lot of Mavericks fans don't want to see DeLon Wright go, but I'm telling you, in return for a guy who has been an all-star in the past, who can do those things that we talked about. He can run the point at an elite level off the bench, which he's been willing to do this year in Miami, and provide a scoring punch. Plus, he can play off the ball in crunch time like we talked about. And yes, again, Dallas would have to give up basically all of their point guard depth, but they're getting a guy who can carry this team when Doncic goes to the bench. Trade number three, Steven Adams. OKC gets younger and they start to really solidify their position and go all in as a rebuilding team. Dallas gets Adams because he provides that rebounding interior defense. It's been an issue for the Mavs this season. Porzingis, not really known for his defense down there in the block, and Dwight Powell hasn't started off so hot. He keeps Luka from having to expend too much energy on the boards. I know the dude's a walking triple-double right now, and that's cool, but maybe Carlisle considers playing Luka more minutes if he's not out there having to get a triple-double with rebounds every game. Plus, the best part is Steven Adams is just 26 years old. I know we forget because he looks and kind of feels like he's been in the league forever, like maybe he's in his mid-30s, but oh no, he's in his mid-20s and he perfectly fits the timeline for this young Dallas Mavericks team and makes them a serious contender right now. So, those are the trades that I think are realistic for the Mavericks to add a quality third player to pair with KP and Luka. Definitely make the playoffs, maybe make a deep playoff run in the West, or maybe pull a Toronto and take advantage in the postseason of an injured super team. But while we're dreaming, let's dream big. The perfect best case scenario for the future of this Dallas Mavericks team is free agency in 2021, signing Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I know it sounds crazy because A, Dallas doesn't have the best record with free agents, especially lately, and B, Giannis doesn't seem to, at least outwardly, want to leave the Bucks. But consider this. Number one, Giannis might appreciate how Mavs GM Donnie Nelson has believed in him since draft night, but he was overruled by Mark Cuban. Number two, they did sign his brother, Kostas Antetokounmpo, on draft night 2018. Three, it's possible and even likely that the Mavs would have a max spot open and available so Giannis doesn't have to give up any money. And lastly, they've got KP and Luka to come play with. And that's the bottom line in all this, isn't it? As long as the Mavs have KP and Luka Doncic, the possibilities are endless. It is a great time to be a Mavericks fan. But they do need that third piece to put them over the top and reach their potential.
Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a weekly NBA video.